So the last type of cells that we're going to be seeing here are the neuroendocrine cells. Neuroendocrine cells are big, large cells that are found at the basal area of the gland, and we can also say that these are the ones that are found in between sheath cells. They have an irregular nuclei and large secretory granules. Then we have a lot of different types of neuroendocrine cells, namely G, D, ECL, PD1 type. G1 is also the one that secretes gastrin. Then we have the D type, which is responsible for the secretion of somatostatin. ECL type is responsible for the secretion of enterochromaffin or somatostatin again. Then lastly, we have PD1 type, which is known for the secretion of ghrelin. So the other type of gland, in accordance to the position, is known as the cardiac glands. The cardiac glands, as the name suggests, cardiac. They're found near the cardiac region of the stomach, and they're mostly tubular and sometimes branched. And the thing that you can notice is that they're specialized to secrete mucus, so they are consisting of mucus-secreting cells. So the last type of cell that we're going to be looking at the last type of gland that we're going to be looking at is known as the pyloric gland. Pyloric glands are found naturally in the pyloric region of the stomach. These glands are convoluted and tubular, and they are mostly associated with neuroendocrine cells. Now, the type of neuroendocrine cells that are found here are especially G-type, and we know that G-type ones are the ones that are associated with the release of gastrin. So gastrin-releasing neuroendocrine cells. Along with neuroendocrine cells, we have another type known as the mucus type of cells. Okay, so now we are back at the layers that actually make up the entire lining of the stomach. So we have the mucosa right here, and we know that the mucosa is divided into the epithelium, then we have the lamina propria, and then lastly we have the muscularis. So this was the epithelium right here. Then we have the lamina propria right here, and lastly we have the muscularis layer. Now the muscularis layer is a thin layer, and the outer part of it is made up of longitudinal muscles. So we have longitudinal muscles, smooth muscles ranging here, and internally towards the side of the glands, we have circular muscle types. Then we have another layer known as the submucosa. So this is the submucosa. Now, the submucosa is rich in connective tissues like collagen, elastin, and then there's another peculiar characteristic that we can see in the case of the submucosa, that it consists of a plexus. So this is like a nerve plexus, also known as the Meissner's nerve plexus, which usually is, I think, the sympathetic supply of the entire stomach. Then lastly, we have another type of region of the lining of the stomach known as the muscularis externa. Not to be confused with the muscularis mucosa, which is somewhere here, this is the muscularis mucosa, because muscularis mucosa is in the mucosa and muscularis externa is a completely different layer. Now, the muscularis externa is made up of similarly with the help of smooth circular plus longitudinal arrangement of muscles. And next thing that you can notice that most of the churning movement that we see in a typical the normal stomach activity, which includes churning of the food, is induced with the help of something known as the Auerbach's plexus. The Auerbach's Auerbach's plexus, which is found dispersed all around the muscularis externa, which helps in the churning of the food material. Lastly, it is also important to mention that there are certain spindle-like cells known as the Kegel cells. Now, Kegel cells are found in the submucosa, and their main job is to connect the nerves. Their main job is to connect the nerves with the muscles and help in gastric motility.